What makes the Save the Cat structure better or unique among the other common plotting structures, such as the 3-act structure, the hero's journey, or Freytag's pyramid, which I have not heard of? Are there certain genres or story types Save the Cat structure is best for? That's a fabulous final question. Thank you, BJ. Very appropriate.
Yeah. I know Freytag's pyramid because I teach it in my short class that I teach at Johns Hopkins and Micah. But Freytag's is like a 1900s. It's a really simple. I'm going to go into it for a second because a lot of people haven't heard of it. But it's like exposition, inciting incident, rising action, climax. It's like this little like loop that kind of goes and then goes down. But it really shows you how long how the Save the Cat beats aren't new necessarily. They've been around forever because Freytag's pyramid is Save the Cat beats. It's like 6 of the Save the Cat beats, and it was around. I can't remember if it was the late 1800s, early 1900s, and Freytag was a dramatist or something like that, and created this thing. And it really is Save the Cat when you look at it. It's Save the Cat. It's just less. It doesn't need quite as much, and that goes into my answer. So before I did Save the Cat, I did Hero's Journey. I did Sid Field's book, which is really 3-act structure, a basic. He calls it his, what did he call it? It wasn't a template. I can't remember. He had some word for it. And I used a lot of these other models for better or worse. And I think for better. What Save the Cat kind of did, like those books almost felt like they were textbooks. They were like academia. And Blake kind of came around, and not that I necessarily said that, but he took pieces from all of them and he read all of them. And then he added a bunch of his own stuff, which Jessica's added a bunch of her own stuff. And now I've added a bunch of my own stuff, that because we've lived this for so long, that it, I think it just, it made it, and his book had a tone that was kind of, let's roll up your sleeves and do this. It's not hard. I'm going to help you figure this out. And he kind of read all those boring textbooks that took me years to read, and I would get bored and it would like boggle my mind because they were written almost in professorial language. And he kind of took it and made a breezy book that you could read in a couple days that did it all. Plus, I think it, in my opinion, it aggregated all the things in a simple to use language that we can share together. This sounds like a Save the Cat pitch. Like I'm this is BJ that said this.
BJ, the other BJ would be very proud of this pitch. Yeah.
No, I think this is really BJ because I think BJ wanted me to answer this question in this way. But so that anyway, it came up with a language and things like that basically encompassed all these into one kind of simplified, like usually a unified model complicates things, but I think it simplified it in some ways, at least the language of it and the understanding of it. But also because, and this is my pitch, this is the Jessica of it all, and and what I've done, but I think because it's living, because we're learning as we go, I think it's a living model more than some of the other models. I think some of the other models wrote a book, it kind of ended there. And this one is 20 years going, and it still is evolving or digging deeper or coming up with new solutions or stuff in the model. And I think that's a great thing too. I mean, that's not the Save the Cat pitch, but I think that's part of why I think it's kind of special, is because we keep working it. So anyway, that's my answer to that question.
I love that. And I'm not going to add really anything else to that because, one, I have not read these other methods. I found Save the Cat early in my career, fortunately, and I followed it and it worked for me. And I've just become an avid supporter ever since. But what I do want to add is just that I love what you said about it being a living method. And, I've taken it and I've noticed things in novels that Blake didn't cover. So I put that into the book of like, look, this keeps happening. In the Dark Night of the Soul, there keeps having these people be having epiphanies. Oh, let's call it the Dark Knight Epiphany. Things like that. And I think what's kind of what's kind of cool is that we can have these conversations like we did today. We can explore like, and we are all finding these different patterns in these different things. Like, never heard of the breakfast scene before. I will be well aware of it now, but that's not part of this official Save the Cat. But I just love that we are all kind of in it, living it, and taking our knowledge and then helping other writers with their process. And I think that's what Save the Cat's all about. I mean, it saved me, as we've heard from a lot of comments. It saves a lot of writers because it is very approachable, easy to follow, and it keeps evolving, as you said. So on that note, I want to say thank you so much for coming on and nerding out with me about the beats. I hope everyone else enjoyed this as much as I did, although that's doubtful because I enjoyed it a lot. But yeah, do you have any final words before we sign off?
No, this is a great time. I was happy to do it. I love talking about this stuff, and I love getting questions from everybody. So
yeah. So where can our writers find you online?
Yeah, the best place to find me, just because it's kind of my last social media place that I live on, is Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, and it's Jamie_Nash is in there. And feel free to follow me, engage with me, and also I do a podcast, you mentioned it in the beginning, called Writers Blockbusters, and on that it's me and a consultant and another guy who just loves movies, and we break down one movie per episode. A lot of it's Save the Cat, but we use it's all story tips, and there's over 100 episodes, so I'm sure if you just go and find like a movie you love and give it a listen, we're really proud of that. We've been doing it for a while.
If you enjoyed this video, we've got a lot more on writingmastery.com. Check the description for links to our blog, free writing tools, and more. Happy writing.